We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with the second game and possibly final match in the series between Czech Prime, the Zerg spawning over on the left-hand side of the map, against his opponent, GosuGatored, the Protoss, on the right here today on GSL Dual Site. This being game number 2 of the semifinals. GosuGatored already up 1-0. He's going to be looking to seal the deal, so a lot of pressure on for both of these players as we come very close to the grand finals. This is, of course, from LastPlayerStanding.com's 48-player SC2 Open. We are in season number 3. And Gatored going to be opening up with an economic build, it looks like, dropping the pylon down here. We're going to be waiting to see if he drops the Forge first or the Nexus. This is going to be dependent on what information the Scout acquires. Now, the pylon probe is going to be the one to head out. Sometimes you'll see in matchups it'll be the gateway probe, but I think in this particular setup with what the Protoss is going for, it's a smart decision to send down the earliest probe possible. And that's because he wants to kind of have an idea. Okay, is there going to be a spawning pool first? If so, maybe I should kind of adjust when I drop my Nexus. Or if there's an expansion first, like an attempted hatchery that just goes down, balls to the wall, drone makes a run for it, then, you know, maybe he's going to go ahead and drop a Nexus first, or decide to drop a gateway and try to harass it. Either way, we now know a little bit more about what his plan is, and that is to drop a geyser and a spawning pool, going down from 15 supply back up to 14. We're going to see this kind of pretty much just turn into an economic style. Having the gas, maybe the timing that it is, will probably lend itself fairly well to that early metabolic boost. You see Czech Prime sitting over several drones, actually only one of them getting to work there. Those drones, I guess they just demanded higher wages or something. But either way, GosuGatored making a point to try to harass the mineral line as long as possible, keeping an eye while that pool continues to build. Now notice he does have the Forge down here waiting for the money to drop his Nexus, currently sitting at exactly 400. Boom, there it goes. And now he just has this nice little wall to work with where he's got between the Nexus and the Forge. He could place probably a pylon right here or something of that sort. Looking at his supply, definitely gonna have to have something. Yeah, see, he's got the probe right there. This is, again, not at all surprising. Oh, okay, dropping a cannon there instead. Alright, that's fine too. But yeah, basically what you'll have here is when you go this style of play, you're going to want to have one more building right here, and in this case, it's going to be a gateway, because you want to try to seal up that hole, or at least make it as small as possible. So with this photon cannon, should be plenty of defense. Now, Czech Prime does have the Overlord here now, spots the timing of the expansion. He knows that his is going to be going down way after his opponent. Of course, the Zerglings are now running around with that metabolic boost, about 40% complete. Continuing to drone up and going directly into Tier 2 with one geyser. This is actually pretty nuts, although I have to say, he's still not getting any gas. Okay, there he goes. Now he's getting some gas. I'm really curious to see what he does with this. I think we can pretty much just rule out anything that's gas intensive. He could be going for roaches, although we don't see a roach warren or anything like that. He's just sticking with the pool. He's got a lot of larvae saved up. He's working on a bunch of drones right now, so this expansion is going to likely be saturated here. Very important that Czech Prime was able to deny the scouting. If the Protoss had come up here and spotted this hatchery, would have maybe thought to himself, what in the wide world of esports is going on? Now, back up here in GosuGatored's base, notice how there's a cybernetics core going down. This is, again, just walling off yet another point of entry for the natural expansion. And looking over here, pretty similar, working on the double gas. Now, this is where I'm really curious to see what the Zerg's going to do. I mean, is he going to be dropping... Uh-oh, now he spots it. Is he going to be dropping a Roach Horn? Is he going to be dropping maybe a Nidus? Is he going to do Nidus Ling? He's got three spine crawlers on the way. He's just accumulating this gas right now. And there's that metabolic boost upgrade coming now, finally. So we'll keep an eye on him, as he is going to be dropping 3 spine crawlers down here at the natural. I was kind of wondering, you know, when I mentioned the spine crawlers, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't see them on the mini-map, huh? Maybe it's just me. Spine crawlers usually aren't that important. But look at what he's doing now. He's going to be trying to build 3 of them here. He's going to be able to lift them up and drop them right next to the natural expansion, applying direct pressure. And the Protoss really isn't going to do too much about it. He has dropped a couple cannons, but these spine crawlers are going to be well in place before they are finished. So he's going to be able to start playing Whack-A-Cannon here in about 2 seconds. There we go, folks. So very early pressure on the natural. Nice creative play from Check Prime. This is what I was talking about in game number 1, where Check Prime likes to go for those unorthodox builds. We see him pressing forward with that third and final Spine Crawler, and GosuGatored really doesn't have a lot of options for dealing with this right at this very second. Yes, he does have a Void Ray, and that's being Chrono Boost, but until that pops out, he pretty much just has to sit here and take it. Ultimately, this will end up being a pretty substantial loss of resources if this Void Ray is able to come in here, knock out a bunch of these Spine Crawlers plus the Overlord. We're going to wait and see exactly if he's able to knock out this Spine or this Nexus, which I really don't think is going to happen. More likely, he's going to knock out the Pylon, and that's going to be about the extent of it as this Void Ray is fully charged, continuing to take away the Spine Crawler. Third and final one going down. This poor Scantipede just sitting here, just hating himself, ducking his head in the corner, trying to do that whole duck and run thing. But the nice thing about this now is, oh my god, we've got a Nidus on the way. Anyways, what I was going to say, the nice thing about this now is that Check Prime, now that he has essentially forced the Protoss to put a lot of money into Void Rays, you see that he did build one. He's also got that Stargate, two. He's also got that Stargate just sitting idle now. That means that that first pretty substantial chunk of gas has gone directly towards that air, which Hydras are extremely capable of countering. So Check Prime is in a phenomenal position. Now notice around here there's 2 Overlords, one right here and one right here. Oh, here we go, folks. Nidus getting ready to pop into the rear entrance. Not even an entrance. Well, Check Prime is making it an entrance to GosuGatored's base. We see one Void Ray sitting out here. And I thought I saw one over there, but nope. Second one's right here. There's the Nidus, ladies and gentlemen. Zergling's getting ready to come into the base for GosuGatored, as there we see 5 gateways and a Twilight Council on the way. These probes pretty much just doing the only thing they can, hanging out, waiting for any reinforcements that they can get. But keep in mind, Warp Gate technology is still not complete. So all of these gateways are going to be sitting here for a couple seconds, not able to do anything, while the Hydras and Queens, even the Queens are here. But I mean, hey, why not, right? If you can heal a Queen while a Void Ray is killing it, I mean, that's just a substantial loss for the Protoss, because all that time they've spent taking so much damage on their one of only 2 Void Rays, not worth it. Completely gets negated right there. So with all these gateways out of the picture, Check Prime is just sitting there. He's probably smiling to himself. Big old grin on his face while he just mops up the main base. GosuGatored, he is not in a good spot. I really don't see a comeback from this. The reason being, yes, he does have one natural. Yes, it's oversaturated. But he has already invested so much gas into this whole weapons one, double Void Ray expansion. Just now, just barely finished his Warp Gate technology, and now he's got all these Hydras up here firing from the high ground. Nothing that the Protoss player can do about it can stop him from being, set back just a whole bunch by this. The Hydras do not have the range upgrade. We can see it's not even in production right now, but more gateways on the way, as well as a robotics facility. He could be hoping to transition into Colossi. But again, that's going to be such a stretch when you consider the fact that the Zerg player has 2 functioning expansions, working on 4 gas right now. And here we go now. Oh, nice force field, keeping a couple of those Hydras out of the field. But losing 1 gas is going to be just brutal for this Protoss player. Because, I mean, again, remember, he's got a robotics facility. He's got several gateways he's trying to keep up, and a little bit of a misplaced force field. Although I don't think Hydras can still get down that little crack. I think Zerglings can. That's about it. But Check Prime just doing any damage that he can, further driving the nail in the coffin. And we see even creep tumors are starting to take place down here. He's going to be able to drop one down here and really creep over. Hey, if nothing else, having a little permanent vision area right there, or vision, will always be a good thing for the Zerg. So GosuGatored is dropping an expansion over here at the high yield. If he's able to get that up and running, then I think he has a fighting chance. But he's lost the structure down here, and now you have a whole bunch of Zerglings running around. We're going to see, we're just getting ready to approach the 14-minute mark. Check Prime expanding again. We see that just finished a second or 2 ago. And looking at the income now, we see 46 to 46. So the same amount of workers, but just huge difference in actual income right now. Because when you got a Protoss working with 1 gas, trying to get Colossi, it's not going to end well. Nice. Hydra's using the creep speed, trying to get any advantage that they can. Maybe take out a Zealot or two before they have to retreat. No, going for the Sentries. There's 100 gas. That's, again, just a substantial loss for the Protoss player. And finally, that Nidus is going to get taken out. So far, units lost, 5 workers, 21 units. So that's a pretty substantial number there for both players, actually. Here comes the Colossus now. We also do have the range upgrade. This is, again, trying to deal with the Hydralisks, which comprise, well, right now the bulk of the army, but in about I'd say 10, 20 seconds or so, we're going to see a bunch of mutas come out, and I think that's just going to be it right there, folks. Because it's not that he's going to be able to come in here and take out probes. Yeah, he can, but he's going to get hit a lot by cannons. But what he is going to be able to do is come over here and start knocking out pylons. He can knock out these pylons, knock out this robotics bay. I think we're going to see him pretty much just be forced to GG. So we'll see what happens in the next couple minutes as we see Gator actually trying to go and deny the Zerg some gas. Check out the expansions. He spots that. He sees the Queen. He knows really there's not a lot he's going to be able to do, but so many mutas are now on the field. He is just going to go make a beeline apparently for the main base where we see the creep has finally been cleared out, with the exception of the creep that we can't quite see there. There we go. So those mutas coming in, taking out this expansion. The Protoss is not going to have any response for it and is going to be forced to GG, bringing this series to an exciting 1-1. So check Prime with his unorthodox play, combined with GosuGatored's very strong mechanics. We'll see what happens in game number 3.